want to show y'all something. See this TV? $24. Samsung. Works really good. My mom bought me this. The reason why I keep this sticker up here is to, like, no matter how successful I might come and become in the future, I don't know. I just want to look back at this and just, like, just remind myself to stay humble. Like, I'm not embarrassed or ashamed that I have this small TV. I could just put this in my son's room when he reaches a certain age or whatever. You know what I'm saying? When I get my 2-bedroom. I have no shame in my game. Honestly, for those of you who don't know, I used to have this nice SUV, and I always had a car. I usually always had a car. Basically, a majority of all my cars, but majority of my cars I got myself. One of my exes had bought me a car. I was trying to pay it forward to him, but he just focus on yourself, and that is a whole nother story. But anyways, he had bought me a car. It was like a $900 car, but it got me by. And the last car I had, my mother had helped me with co-signing, but I put the down payment down, I paid for everything, stuff like that. So, the last car I had, actually, it was over 10 years old and had a lot of issues. Like, it had a rusted subframe and it was deteriorating, so it was really dangerous to drive. Like, I got sold a lemon pretty much from the dealership. Just like a buy here, pay here spot. I tried to, like, report it and whatever, and of course they didn't care because I'm black. So they were trying to charge me like almost $600 a month for a piece of shit car. $32,000 for over 10-year-old car. Like, she lied to me on the paperwork and everything like that. So that being said, I told him, like, right before my birthday, I was like, hey, come get this car, because my son, when I was pregnant with him, I was high risk and I almost lost him. So I had purposely, like, quit my job because I didn't want to risk losing him. So I had to make that sacrifice, and I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom so I could bond with him. And I don't trust just anybody, and I don't trust these daycares. So when he's old enough to go to school, then, I'll take advantage of the opportunity. I might either work part-time or I might just go back to college. So, so my car note for a piece of crap car was almost $600, and that's not including the car insurance. So it wasn't even worth it. So I was like, you know what, let me just collect my disability check and make the sacrifice and just, like, live off that. So I am not ashamed to say these things because I want to reach out to people. When I found out that Tupac was homeless, like, yesterday, I didn't even know he was homeless. Like, I was like, whoa, he understands the struggle. Like, he been through it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like his life story before he became who he was is powerful. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he said a lot of things that he had did, and a lot of things that he had said in his music he didn't really want to do or say, but they told him that you have to do this if you want us to pay you, and you know what I'm saying? So, learn more about him. I always knew that he was, like, intelligent and poetic, and he had a good heart and everything like that and stuff like that, but he's been through some ish, and he wanted the best for his people and black women and black men and stuff like that. So, but he's like, at the end of the day, he's like, yeah, like, he was just basically versatile. Like, he grew up on the streets. Like, he knows, he lived that life, and, but he also, there's a certain territory that you gotta pay when it comes to, a certain lifestyle if you want to get paid for it, like in the industry. So, for those of you who know. So, I am being honest and stuff like that about my life. I usually pretty much always am, because I want to uplift people, encourage people, because I know a lot of people that think they're too good to ride the bus, like they're embarrassed. I ride the bus because, like, even when I had a car, I rode the bus because I'm not ashamed, I'm not embarrassed. I do what I gotta do. If I have to save gas, or I have to sacrifice a car that I know I'll be able to get in the future, like, I'm not worried about it, because there's so many cars out there. It's not the end of the world. And my son's worth that sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? So if I cared about money, I would have had an old OnlyFans, you know, or prostituted, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not that. I don't want to be that type of person. I don't have nothing against anyone that does that, because sometimes women got to do what they got to do to survive and take care of their kids. So yeah. Anyways, and believe it or not, when I was like a lot thinner, I used to be a stripper. This is like when I was a teenager. And this is before it became like a trend and everything. And it's after I had my first son, because I had to do what I had to do. But I didn't strip for long. But you'd be surprised how many white men, they love big women. And even this firefighter that was there, he was like, I'm a firefighter. And he's like, I love like coverage. I wasn't that big, but I was like, you know, I had some curves and whatever. And I had a little bit of a pudge because I had a baby and whatever. So at the time, he liked it. He told me, he's like, I like, you know what I'm saying, big women, but I can't let people know that. You know, because he didn't want to be embarrassed for his fetish. That's where we live in. But anyways, this is me. Okay, this is actually recent. I think this is not that long ago. I can't remember when I took this picture. But this is like before I had my son. Prince. Okay. I didn't trace this. It's just like a ghetto version of Van Gogh and Starry Night. So I just eyeballed it and used a marker. So here's my baby's footprints. He has some big feet, I know. And then I put like sticky notes of encouragement. Excuse my handwriting. Like when I'm in a rush, I got different handwritings and different personalities and different moods and different. I like to imitate accents. I like to imitate personalities. So a lot of people that know me know this, and they say, "Oh, Mo is like the street Mo, and Monique is like the one that is herself and tries to be nice and everything and professional, and Monique is like the little girl, and what is the other one? Yeah, this is different words. Lady Neek is like the one that likes to sing. Coco Styles is the one that likes to rap. So yeah, I feel like everyone has different sides to them and stuff like that. But yeah, I just wanted to say that. But yeah, like, don't get me wrong. Like, you can't tell in this picture, I love my brown eyes, but I do want to, for years, even since I was like a teenager, I always wanted to change my eye color. It's not for acceptance or anything. It's just for my own, like own self. Like, I just want to, like, you know, I just want to alter my looks a little bit for myself, you know, because I do, because I want to. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of people do it. So, but the procedure is like close to like $20,000 if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember. They do it in New York, and it's FDA approved and everything. So I wanted to address this. I had addressed it in another video, but I took it down because there's some things that I said. I was like, you know what, that's too much info. So yeah, I cash cans. I'm not ashamed of it, because the reason being is that you could get 10 cents a can, and I use that money towards, like, you're like paying for cans anyways that you cash, and it's this is how I look at it. It's a way of recycling. if you go to, like, if you work for an employer or a warehouse even, a lot of times they'll have, like, recycle bins. They'll put cans only, bottles here, plastic here, stuff like that. Do you know how much money they're getting off of, like, their employees, like, putting their cans in there? They cash that. And this is another way of, I recycle too. Like, I separate, my recycle, like my cardboard, even my, toilet paper rolls and stuff like that. So I recycle and whatever. I learned all this from my mother, and I have no shame in my game. So yeah, I met this lady during COVID. She took the bus like multiple times. And she had like big bags of cans that she was catching. She's like, girl, you can't believe it. Like, I didn't even know her. She was just talking. She's like, this was during COVID time. She's like, I stacked up the whole time during COVID. And she's like, I made like $300. I had to make multiple trips. I was like, whoa. So yeah, because they had shut down the can dispensary. Because of sanitary reasons and cross-contamination reasons and things like that. So yeah, I'm just telling you guys this. I think even if I was to be like, even if I was to become like financially stable to a point where like I'm not living paycheck to paycheck or on a fixed income, and I was like really like rich or whatever, I would still do it. Right now, I honestly want to go to school, become like a psychiatrist and help people through trauma, because a lot of people that are psychiatrists and things like that, they can't relate. They can't connect. So I want to, like, it's like kind of like a drug counselor. Like, there's a lot of successful drug counselors out there that can relate because they were previously an addict, and they were in recovery, and they've been sober for years. So I respect people like that can actually relate to people that have been through what they're trying to overcome as inspiration. Like, hey, if I overcame it, you could overcome it, So I want to be like that. I want to work with all different age groups and stuff like that. And there's only I forgot how many percent. There's a very low percent of, I think there's only, if I'm not mistaken, 33,000 Black people that are psychiatrists in the USA. Because out of the country doesn't count. So yeah, that's I think it's less than that. Or it might be a little bit more. I can't remember. But yeah, there's not too many of us. Because in my culture, we're like told like God is your therapist. I understand that and I respect that. But sometimes we need a therapist to confide in, so we don't have to feel some type of way. Like if we're trying to confide in a family member or a friend or something like that, or a loved one, and we don't have to feel judged or anything like that. And I understand that some things that you should be kept a secret and held in the household. But at the same time, like if you want someone to vent to, and you want it to be confidential, it's understandable to go to a therapist, and then you can get like some coping tools from that therapist on how to cope and deal with society. So that's how I look at it. And I think it's I try to promote like a lot of these like Black owned businesses and work with Black people and stuff like that, but a lot of them have a lot of these Black women mostly have nasty attitudes, and they come across very judgmental, so, and petty sometimes, and so many different things. They have a lot of them. It's just sad. I was like, this is why we can't unite, and it's mostly because of the women. Sometimes the men too. Like, I have men look at me, like they got some animosity towards me. They don't even know me. I was like, I don't even know you, and you looking at me like you got you feel some type of way. Like, what is the problem? You got a problem with Black women? If you're a Black man and you got a problem with Black women, that goes to show that you have a problem with your mother. And the anger that you feel towards your mother, you put it on Black women. So that's not my problem. Not all black women are the same. Not all black men are the same. Don't put everyone in the same category. So yeah, I have no shame in my game. Yes, I ride the bus, and I've been doing this for years before I had a car and after. I mean, and during and after. So I don't think I'm too good for anything. I don't think I'm better than nobody. I'm not trying to be perfect. I just try to elevate myself and become a better version of myself to do better. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like everyone should do that. So I don't think I'm better than anybody. I do feel like I'm better than certain people that try to deteriorate me, and they're my enemies, and they're in a worse situation than me when they could have been where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I have accomplished in life, anybody with a brain and that wants to accomplish it can do the same thing I'm doing. It's just that you got to find the strength and the willpower within yourself to do that. I can't force you to do nothing. I'm not trying to force you to do nothing. I can only uplift you. So there's no reason or needs to be jealous of anybody, to be honest. I kind of saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, when women or men are a little bit jealous when their woman or the man gets hit on, that's different. You know what I'm saying? That's understandable. Like, it goes to show that they care. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're not a little tiny bit of jealous, then it's like, makes you question. You know what I'm saying? They're real attentions for you. So yeah, just want to say that.